Okay, what is going on, CYPRX Advanced YouTubers? Welcome back to the CYPRX YouTube page. As always, if you're interested in learning about cryptocurrencies, commodities, indices, foreign exchange, please go ahead and consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. If these video breakdowns help you all out, make sure that you smash that thumbs up button. It does help boost the YouTube algorithm and push these videos out to more individuals like yourselves. In today's video breakdown, I'm going to go over scalp positions that I took on GBP/JPY in the foreign exchange market that capitalized on about 50 pips today. You guys can see here in the Discord group chat, I'm going to show you all some screenshots of some other CYPRX Advanced students that were able to capitalize on some interesting moves. All right, so here are those screenshots for you all right here. They're very, very active in the CYPRX group chat in the morning during New York session. I love this group chat. I'm so happy that we were able to create a trading community where people can thrive and actually share their trading ideas. Again, if you guys are interested in joining that trading community and the mentorship, the link is in the description down below. Without further ado, let's dive into an extreme detailed breakdown on how I was able to catch these moves. Number one, all right, I want you guys to understand something about my psychology as a trader. I am extremely confident in what it is that I see in the market, and I never risk more than 2 to 3% of my overall capital, which allows me to gain a maximum amount of confidence in my trading capabilities. If you guys are taking positions in the market on leveraged accounts and you are over leveraging, it is going to mess with your psychology. That is number one that I advise you do. Again, I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that, but if you're looking to trade these markets, you need to make sure that you're not risking more money than you're willing to actually lose. It'll help with your confidence. So in both of these trades, I was willing to do just that. I risked 2% in this trade, and I only risked 1% in this trade, and both of them resulted in a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio minimum, overall 50 pip gain. Okay. So just to go down into this first buy scalp, you guys already know I'm a scalper at heart. I love scalping the market, looking for quick profits in and out of the market as fast as I possibly can. So analyzing this price action here on the 30-second chart, coming into this little range right here, okay, we saw the market create an area of consolidation right here where we see the market range up and down, up and down, up and down, and then finally it creates a liquidity grab area, break of structure fractally, and then creates a higher low significantly to the previous one and rallies higher, breaking previous market structure, coming and attacking early sell positions and buy stops prior to New York session in our manipulation window. So if I go ahead and I draw all that out for you all, we see here 8:30 a.m. So we'll take our manipulation window, extend that over to around 6 a.m. It falls off the screen, but we can see here, okay? Manipulation is all in this region, right? So we know that the market makers most likely are going to be targeting these highs and these lows as areas of liquidity. Well, we see that the market makers did not want to make a run to the downside. Why? Because during the manipulation window, they did just that. You see this massive bearish candlestick. Imagine how many retail traders would have been FOMOing in, attempting to chase the market because they're like, oh my gosh, GBP/JPY is going to sell off right now. What the heck is going on? And then immediately, what did the market makers do? They completely rejected a psychological level, reversed price action, created a higher low that led to a new market break in structure. So we now see the market makers respecting bullish order flow. We can now identify this as a manipulation move. All right. And it also happened during our 8:30 a.m. window, which can also be chalked up to manipulation. But we see here what the market makers were doing. They were coming to attack all of the trend line liquidity from early buyers that flooded in the market beneath these lows prior to the 8:30 a.m. region and activating sell stops that existed beneath these lows. All right. If you guys are tracking with me so far, again, make sure that you smash that like button. It helps boost the YouTube algorithm. So coming into this little tiny buy scalp, what it is that I saw is number one, we see a new A to B move where the market makers, after the liquidity grab in this area, created a new significant higher low in comparison to the previous one and rallied higher. So we can go ahead and we can mark this off as a new A to B move. Okay, so now we're operating inside of a new bullish range, right? We are operating inside of new bullish order flow or the market maker's willingness to send price higher or to higher psychological levels, right? They weren't done purchasing price here. We can see here coming into this range that the market retraced. And as soon as it retraced, we see a psychological level 160.650. Again, a significant psychological level on GBP/JPY getting respected where the market makers failed to break below that psychological level and price started to accumulate. Okay. If you guys are, familiar with accumulation, reaccumulation, distribution, redistribution, this is a reaccumulation schematic where we can see a sign of strength. The market shows us that it wants to grab liquidity from the downside and go higher, right? If it didn't, it would do what? What would happen right here logically if the market was in a downtrend? Okay, you see how this is a lower high in comparison to the previous one, but you see how it did not create a lower low. Instead, what did it do? It sent price higher, creating a fractal structure higher high. As you guys can see, this is a what? This is a low, this is a high, this is a higher low, higher high, higher low formation. Okay, so we know that the market is still being overpowered by what? By bullish momentum. Okay, bulls are in control of this market. If bears were in control of this market, what would happen? Logically, the market would create lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and lower high formations. Okay, we failed to get that. So right now in the current given moment, I was analyzing that we are still respecting bullish order flow. And where could we potentially be coming? Well, we see here that people were attempting to sell this down move. If we go to the 15-minute chart, right, understanding that higher time frame takes precedence, okay, coming into this region in between New York session when we were having this bullish momentum, we were coming into a potential premium range. So we know logically that the market makers are not going to sell from a low. Well, if we saw on the fractal nature of things we were operating at a low, most likely the banking institutions were doing what? They were attempting to continuously liquidate and activate people that were selling early and activating buy stops to push price up into a premium range to give themselves a discount to sell, and then take buy positions from people who are selling this as retail resistance. And as you guys can see, that played out to the T. Now let me dive into a little bit detail on the lower fractal nature of things on how I was able to catch that move. It's so simplistic and easy to see. All right. So analyzing the fact that we are in an uptrend currently, analyzing the fact that we had a premium range that the market makers were most likely going to push price up into, okay, you guys can see extending that premium range over to the right-hand side, we were not operating in that premium range in this given area of price action, okay? We also know that we are currently in a temporary uptrend. Why? Because price action is making higher highs and higher lows after bullish impulsive moves. Okay, so the market is not done moving to the upside. Okay, all of this price action here in the form of these bearish candlesticks you have to see as manipulation. Why? Number one, we're failing to break fractal structure psychological levels. Number two, we're failing to create new market structure, lower lows, lower highs, lower low, lower high formations. Okay. Now what do we see? Going down to the 15-second chart, this is where I got into this sniper entry. It's extremely simple. Pay attention to what it is that I teach you guys on the CYPRX YouTube. What can we see here? We see that this wick low right here grabbed liquidity beneath this low, so we can identify this as a liquidity bottom, okay, with our horizontal ray. Liquidity bottom, boom, right? We see the market grab liquidity from the downside, activate sell stops, and liquidate any people who were on over leveraged buy positions that had their stops moved to break even from catching this little tiny scalp. And we can see that the market grabbed liquidity and showed us the willingness to go higher. So now we are now operating again in what? A new A to B range. Okay, so now we can take our Fibonacci now that the market has created a new market structure high, right, from this A to B move, breaking previous market structure. We can label and identify this as the pattern that I show you guys on the YouTube channel. This is a break of structure, BOS top. This is a grab of liquidity. So now if we want to get in on the moving trend, we can take our Fibonacci from the low. This is where confidence comes in, right? Because all of this bearish candlestick price action would have manipulated you because you would have been seeing lower high formations, but the market is currently telling us that it wants to reach higher. How? It's grabbing liquidity from the lows. It's failing to make lower structure, lower lows. It's failing to break psychological levels. This is clearly bullish order flow, bullish momentum. So what do we see? Taking our, again, Fibonacci from the low to the high to catch little tiny buy scalps. What did we do? We waited for price to come down into discount. Now I entered a little bit late because of how fast price reacted. This was on the 15-second chart again. So respectively speaking, we had 15, 30, let's say 45, all right, almost about a minute to capitalize on this trade. I think I was literally taking a sip of my coffee when all this played out, and I was sifting through some Apple Music, so I wasn't able to catch the move at 62% and 70%, but we can see here, zooming in, all right, we see a bullish reaction to 70% discount to the T. A bullish engulfing candlestick engulfs the previous one, and then immediately following that, we see bullish momentum pick up and break fractal previous market structure. This is a clear buy signal. So I entered right there. You guys can see on my MetaTrader 4, my entry was at 160.691. All right, beautiful entry, resulted in a 15 pip scalp to the upside on GBPJPY. So that was the first position that I was able to take this morning. And then immediately following, I was able to capitalize on the fact that we rejected the psychological level 160.850. Again, paying attention to key psychological levels. All right, we see that the market makers gap down. As soon as we gap down, you guys can see my MT4 entry. All right, I entered at 160.830 to the T, okay? Number one, my confluences were, we rejected a 160 850 psychological level. Number 2, we were operating in that premium range that I had mentioned to you guys on the 15-minute chart. Now, if we go to the 15-minute chart and I show you guys my thesis from this morning, back when price action failed to show us all of this price information, all right, look at my overall ideology. Number 1, we are in an uptrend. So I know that the market makers, once they push price into a premium range, are going to look to take sell positions to print a higher low so that way they can add to their buy positions. Okay, so if we're operating at a brand new fresh high, they're most likely going to push price action down into discount from a premium range, okay, to give themselves a better scenario to add to their buy positions. And that's exactly what they did. And that is how I scalped the market. So we can see here that price finally reached that premium range over to the left-hand side. So now going down to the lower time frame, we know all of that price information. And we know that big banks and institutions cannot just put one big bullish order in at one certain point in time. They have to continuously add to their order over and over and over again. So we see a rejection at the psychological level, 850. We know that we're in premium range. That's number 2. We also can identify this now as a potential grab of liquidity. Okay, so we'll change this to liquidity top. All right, same thing, as above, so below. We know that if the market makers are going to go lower, they need to shoot to take out people that have sold here in this area and activate buy stops in this area as well. And they do just that. We see that the market makers came up into this 850 psychological level. We have a doji candlestick, and then it gets followed by a bearish engulfing candlestick. Now this was a signal for us to enter for shorts to scalp the market, because we know that this again, to be moved now, is going to be signaling some type of retracement so that the bank and institutions can add to their overall order in this area to send price higher. It's very simplistic. You guys can see my scalp position on both the buys and the sells on GBPJPY. Some of the CYPRX advanced students were able to capitalize on these moves as well. Beautiful, beautiful intraday little tiny scalp positions. Absolutely outstanding price action. Beautiful analysis. Again, if you guys are interested in learning how to read the charts properly and how to catch scalp moves like this, resulting in a minimum of a 1-to-3 risk to reward ratio, you guys, that mentorship is in the link in the description down below. You guys are always more than welcome to reach out to me and schedule a Zoom call if you have any questions before joining the mentorship, just by reaching out to the customer support at CYPRXtrading.com email. As always, blessings to you guys. Enjoy your weekend. This is probably going to be the last video that I upload for the week because I'm going out of town this weekend. So as always, be safe, be cognizant, be aware, and I'll see you guys in the next video breakdown.